Okay, so according to the 1996 Treaty of Amsterdam and according to various other laws and diktats, discrimination can be roughly categorized as two things. On the one hand, it's categorized as treating people who are the same as though they're different. And on the other hand, it's categorized as treating people who are different as though they're the same. Now let's just unpack that language very quickly for a minute. Let's say, on the one hand, treating people who are the same as though they're different. That is treating people, paying women less for the same job that they do than you pay a man. So you've got people who are significantly the same, women and men, and you treat women differently by paying them less. That's a form of discrimination. Treating people who are different as though they're the same, on the other hand, would be something along the lines of expecting somebody in a wheelchair to climb a flight of stairs and without providing any ramps, that sort of thing. Well, in the early 2000s, it transpired that 97% of British websites break the equalities law, or the disability discrimination law as it was in those days. 97% of British websites were discriminatory. The number has gone down a little bit in recent years, and I think it went down to 80%, and I think it's now down to 75%, but this is still really high. 75% of websites break the law. They're not, as it were, friendly and accessible to all. They discriminate. Now let's just have a little look at what that might mean with dyslexia. On the one hand, when you have websites, what sort of colours are you using? Are the colours too bright? Are they too stark? When you look at it, is it black on yellow, or is it black on white? These are quite stark colours. What kind of text are you using? Is the text really small? What sort of format for a website are you using? Do you have to scroll down all the time? And as you scroll down, do you lose some of the information that you were looking at in the past? When you put your cursor over the top bar of a website, do you get those drop-down menus that cover up half the text you're supposed to be reading? Do you have flash where images and words are moving around on the page all the time? Even as far as for those people with fine motor skill impairment, if you have your website is interactive, what about the tick boxes? What about the things that you can do on the website? Is that easy for people? Is it accessible? Now, on the one hand, these are just a few of the thoughts that we might have when we're creating a website and when we're looking at a website. On the one hand, a website that is inaccessible breaks the law, and we are in danger of legal action. But on the other hand, perhaps more importantly than that, these websites become inaccessible, and becoming inaccessible, they become unfriendly. People don't want to access them. People don't want to look at them. If you're a business trying to sell things and you're alienating about 15% of the population with dyslexia, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you spend a little bit of time to say, actually, this 15% of the population, this is a 15% of the population that we really want. We already know that British businesses and the British economy loses about billions of pounds a year by not taking dyslexia seriously. There is this opportunity to be seized. And so we can say on the one hand that about 75% of our websites are inaccessible. This means that they break the law. On the other hand, what we need to do is make our websites accessible, and where we make them accessible, we make them friendlier, we make them more inviting, and we make people want to come and look at them. And that's what we need to try to do. It's not about helping people we'll never see. It's about trying to draw people into our organizations so that they'll want to come and speak to us. And that's what making your website accessible is all about. Okay, thank you very much. Please like, please comment, please share, please get involved in the conversation. I'd love to hear from you.